It's 8 o'clock in Banjul. This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Karaba Avenue, and I am Jul Denjai. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. A group of 43 would-be migrants, all suspected to be Gambians, were intercepted in the Samboya, Gunjur and Katong area on Thursday evening by the Gambia Immigration Department. And in a bid to tackle cross-border challenges, the government of the Gambia, in collaboration with the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance, DCAV and other partners, Friday launched the Gambia Integrated Border Management Concept and Implementation Plan. 40 participants on Friday concluded a validation event on the findings of violations of domestic workers' rights in West Africa, organized by the Ministry of Trade and Partners. And in international news, Musa Dadis Camara, former jail leader of Guinea, has allegedly escaped after gunmen stormed the main prison in Guinea's capital on Saturday, according to the country's justice minister. And in sports news, 4 Gambian female footballers have arrived in Saudi Arabia to sign loan deals with Jeddah-based Al Noors Football Club in the First Division. Those were your headlines, and now the news in detail. Hello, if you are just tuning in, this is QTV News and I am Julden Jai. Now on Thursday evening at approximately 10 o'clock, the Gambia Immigration Department intercepted a group of 43 would-be migrants, all believed to be Gambians, in the Samboya, Gunjur and Katong region. Lena Igwe reports.
In recent months and weeks, there has been a notable increase in the number of young people attempting to cross to Spain's Canary Islands in search of supposedly better prospects. Over the years, this risky journey has tragically claimed the lives of several Gambian youths, leaving their families in mourning. Despite these heartbreaking losses, more individuals continue to embark on this risky route. During this most recent interception operation, young people were apprehended while attempting the journey and subsequently returned to the Tangier Migration Management Center. The recurring nature of this migration raises concerns as it shows no signs of slowing down. Mamanding S. Diba, the Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Immigration Department, sheds light on the matter.
Upon arrival at a location somewhere around Katong, we have detected a large number of young people. In fact, close to 200 people were seen on the site. Our officers approached them, trying to take care of the situation. But the group of young people were kind of confrontational, and this is what necessitated our officers to call for reinforcement. But unfortunately, before the reinforcement arrived, a lot of them have dispersed. However, as we speak, we managed to have about 43 of them in our custody right now, helping our investigators with the investigations.
PRO Diba emphasized the significance of the Trafficking in Persons Act of 2007 in addressing issues related to this so-called backway phenomenon. He remains optimistic that a new bill currently under consideration will further enhance efforts to combat illegal migration.
Smuggling is not yet criminalized under our laws. It is trafficking that is criminalized. But the good news is that we are having a bill that is on its way to the National Assembly. So we are very optimistic that once this bill garner support and became law finally, this is going to take care of all our operational and administrative challenges.
Furthermore, PRO Diba stressed the need for collaborative efforts to curb this distressing trend.
So let's collaborate, guide our young people, try to sensitize them about the dangers of this irregular migration journey. Let us always resort to regular means of leaving the country. So my call, once again, is to the people, especially the people on the coastal lines, coastal communities, continue collaborating with our people to make sure that we are able to adequately handle this situation.
Once migrants reach North Africa, which is the closest African point to Europe, they face numerous challenges, including the constant threat of kidnapping and being held for ransom, the risk of being sold into slavery, and even more alarmingly, murder, arbitrary detention and punishment, accompanied by inhuman and degrading treatment. Despite such facts, none of these appears to act as a deterrent. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwenyiba.
Now, in a bid to tackle cross-border challenges, the government of the Gambia, in collaboration with the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance, DCAF, and other partners, Friday launched the Gambia Integrated Border Management Concept and Implementation Plan. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The Gambia Integrated Border Management Concept and Implementation Plan was developed through the partnership of DCAF and the Gambia Immigration Department and was validated by national stakeholders last month. Since the launch of the security sector reform process in the country in 2017, significant progress has been achieved by developing an underlying strategic framework and security sector architecture, creating a foundation for reforming security agencies. The government has shown a solid commitment to reforming the security sector by adopting the National Security Policy in 2019, the National Security Strategy in 2020, and the Security Sector Strategy 2020 to 2024. Border security remains a central focus for all security institutions in the Gambia. Many existing or emerging threats are linked to the country's porous borders and inefficient border management systems. Abraham Mendy, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, says with the launch, it is hoped that in the coming years of the implementation process, integrated border management will contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
And more specifically, will contribute to a significant reduction of the illicit financial and arms flow, strengthening the recovery and return of stolen assets, and combat all forms of organized crimes, while strengthening the relevant national security institutions' capacity at all levels to prevent all forms of violence at the border crossing points and combat terrorism and crime as well.
Kulei Jallo, Deputy Director of the Gambia Immigration Department, thanked the Swiss government for their support to the security sector reform process.
Their support has been instrumental in empowering us to achieve our mission and improve our capacity to effectively safeguard our borders.
Ken Isaac, head of the DCAF Banjul office, and Mark Lynch, DCAF Senior Border Management Advisor, both spoke of the numerous benefits of the concept to Gambians and DCAF's contribution.
We conducted a comprehensive assessment of borders and checkpoints. We convened an introductory two-day workshop on the proposal of IBM with the Office of National Security, Gambia Immigration Department, and all national agencies involved in border security. We conducted a data collection workshop on IBM with key border agencies and designed a data collection template.
So DCAF will now continue working on the implementation of IBM in the Gambia through the provision of support, and I'm going to outline the support that's going to be provided until the end of the current GID and DCAF program at the end of June 2024.
Since the Gambia faces multiple challenges regarding border security and management like most countries, implementing integrated border management effectively and efficiently will ensure a more comprehensive and inclusive approach to border-to-border issues. For QTV News, I am Julden Njai.
Now, 40 participants on Friday concluded a validation of the findings on the violations of domestic workers' rights in West Africa, organized by the Ministry of Trade in collaboration with the Center for Research and Action on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. Loli M. Kamara was there, and this is her report.
On the final day of a two-day validation, journalists, civil society organizations and union representatives came together to share their experiences and discuss ways to better protect the rights of all domestic workers in the country. According to the findings, in the Gambia, the employment rate stands at 90.4% in 2019, with 91.7% for women and 89.3% for men. Additionally, women represent 4.9% of the skilled workforce and 61.9% of the unskilled workforce. Furthermore, the report also highlights that in 2018, there were 4,270 domestic workers in the Gambia, out of which 48.08% were women. For this reason, the Center for Research and Action on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, supported by the Foundation for Just Society, implemented a strategic support project for domestic workers in 9 West African countries, including the Gambia. Dr. Fatima Jallo Gay is the director for the Center for Research and Action on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights.
If we had the possibilities, we will go in every town, in every village and express our views and share it. But we know that's the work of the media, and we know how fundamental and critical is that engagement with the media when it came to spreading messages and just to helping us sensitize on the importance of respecting the right of domestic workers in West Africa.
Basiru Seka, Principal Labor Economist, Ministry of Trade, while speaking of the importance of the event, called on domestic employees to register with trade unions in the country.
Most of them didn't know they even have rights to stand before their employers, because we all know that with the adoption of the new Labor Act, there is a specific clause that is meant for domestic workers. There is a clause that is meant for the expatriate workers.
The report has it that regarding the formal employment status, 85.91% of domestic workers do not have written contracts, even though they are legally required to have written declarations containing essential information about their employment conditions. Aji Aredamfa, a representative of the Gambia Labor Union, shared her take.
When I reach my union, I have to give a report to my boss, and maybe he will summon a meeting to try and work on a work plan whereby we will be able to sensitize the mass, sensitize the domestic workers, because I've learned here that domestic workers are not only housemates, but any other employee outside the state.
As stakeholders gather to encourage a greater commitment to support domestic workers, they call on the government to ensure stronger protection for domestic workers through the ratification of the International Labour Organization C-189 on domestic workers. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
The report there by Lolly M. Kamara will take us to a short commercial break. When we return, we have some more local, international, as well as sports news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Cedric and Caroline came in to choose tiles for their brand new kitchen. Brown or beige? Brown. And why not a new mixture tap? A new sink too? Fine, a new sink too. And what about a lighting fixture? Shall we go for this one? See, you're finally on the same page.
I also wanted a new kitchen counter.
We got you, Caroline.
And yes, that's Batimat Bati Day. Take advantage of exceptional discounts up to 80% on tiles, sanitary, electrical, and lighting. From November 4th to 18th, you will be splurging. Batimat, welcome home.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News and I am Julden Jai. Now to the rest of our stories. Now, the Gambia Immigration Department, in collaboration with the IOM and FAO, have inaugurated a new border post in Tabanding village in the Central River region. Our regional correspondent, Bakari Balde, attended the inauguration ceremony, and this is his report.
This border post is funded by United Nations Peace Building Fund and jointly implemented by the Gambia Immigration Department, International Organization for Migration, and Food and Agriculture Organization to enhance border security and service delivery. The post consists of a well-equipped migration information and data analysis system, 4 offices, a conference hall, and staff quarters. Serafin Wakana, the UN resident coordinator, said the border post will foster ties between communities, promote shared development goals, and broaden the vision of more interconnection and collaboration within the sub-region.
Today's occasion is yet another testimony of the strong relationship between government of the Gambia, the government of Senegal, and the United Nations system in strengthening the peace and development nexus through cross-border initiative, which bring authorities and communities across the borders together to transform conflict among themselves into peaceful dividends by enhancing the economic well-being of communities and for the pursuit of social-cultural progress.
Dr. Mariam John, Director of Department of Strategic Policy and Delivery, spoke on behalf of the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, border management means providing security to its community, but strategizing it in a way that illegal immigration, child trafficking, crime, theft is under control. Besides the security approach, it encourages economic and social development, trade, and relations and role of border communities as a whole.
Hule Jallo Cham, the Deputy Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department, thanked the IOM and FAO and further outlined the commitment of her department to enhancing cross-border security.
This time around, it is important to note that you can be at the headquarters with the correspondence that we are receiving. We convey them through the MIDAS system at the immigration headquarters, whereby within less than 10 minutes it's been circulated to all the strategic border posts that have the installation of the MIDAS system. I think this ought to be commended, and we will make sure the sustenance of this particular project will be our priority.
Chief Superintendent Mamandin Diba, GIG Spiaro, and Commissioner Fode Gassama, the head of Migration and Border Management Unit, had this to say.
So whatever happens, good or bad, starts from the border and gets into the country. So we want to start security at the border so that people inside the country will be able to sleep well.
The expansion of our MIDAS and the construction of this border post are a fulfillment of the strategic objectives in the Gambia Immigration Department Strategic Plan 2019-2024.
Other speakers included Malam Bojang, the officer in charge of the new border post, and Fode Conte, a native of Tabandi village, who said that the new post will improve security in the area, among other benefits. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
That report by Bakari Balde takes us to news beyond our borders. We'll be right back. Musa Dadis Camara, former jail leader of Guinea, has allegedly escaped after gunmen stormed the main prison in Guinea's capital earlier on Saturday and freed Camara and 2 other prisoners, according to the country's justice minister. This story by Babu Karsise is narrated by Momodou Lamin Choi.
Following the alleged jailbreak early on Saturday, the country has closed its borders as the military launched a manhunt for the fugitives. The country's Justice Minister Charles Alphonse Wright has vowed to find the alleged escapees and to hold accountable those responsible. The announcement of the daring escape came several hours after heavy gunfire erupted in the Kalum district of the capital. According to the Justice Minister, a group of masked and heavily armed soldiers arrived at the prison at around 4 a.m. on Saturday and entered by force and took Camara and other high-profile detainees on trial, Claude Pevy and Blaise Gumo, to an unknown location. Dadis Camara's lawyer told AFP that the Attorney General confirmed to him that his client had been taken out of prison by heavily armed men, raising the possibility that Camara was kidnapped and could be in danger. An airport source said no flights had taken off from Conakry's International Airport on Saturday morning, as air traffic staff could not get to the airport from Kaloum, where they often spend the night. Moussa Dadis Camara came to power in a coup in 2008 after the death of President Lassana Conté. His announcement to contest the January 2010 elections had angered many Guineans who, in protest, gathered at a stadium in Conakry. It was then that Guinean security forces fired upon peaceful protesters, killing over 150 people, according to riot groups. For years, Guinea's government had sought to prevent Camara's return from exile in Burkina Faso, fearing it could stoke political instability. However, another coup in September 2021 by Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya was more amenable to Camara's return. Following President Alpha Condé's overthrow in September 2021, Dadis returned to the country and was charged with several other former military and government officials of murder, sexual violence, kidnappings, arson, and looting. Dadis Camara has been detained since going on trial in September 2022. Several Guinean news sites quickly reported that Saturday events were not another coup or a coup attempt, but that heavily armed commandos had attacked the central prison. Mohamed Lamin Choy, QTV News.
Now, according to latest reports, Moussa Dadis Camara is back in jail, according to his lawyer. Now, with that report, we will go to sports news. Four Gambian female footballers have arrived in Saudi Arabia to sign loan deals with Jeddah-based Al Noor's football club in the first division, the second tier of Saudi Arabia's Women's Football League structure. Let's have more details of that in this report by Momodo Gajaga.
The four Gambian female footballers are Aminata Gay, Elizabeth Ndeki, Adel Mendy, and Teddy Sirejata. They are in Jeddah, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to complete a loan transfer deal with First Division club Al Noor. They traveled with Modula Nyasi, the vice president and co-founder of AJ Academy, partners of Al Noor. Mr. Nyasi said the process is almost completed.
Already they have seen them, they saw the video, they saw their highlights, they have their highlights with them, with the test match that I played in the Gambia. And then for now, just to complete the process of signing, that's all. But I mean, everything is done, even the request from the clubs, the international transfer is already all been sent right now as I'm speaking to you, because tomorrow, today is the last day of the transfer. They're going to start their transfer window tomorrow, so everything is completed.
The players are said to be excited at the prospect of playing in the new women's football structure in Saudi Arabia. Modula Nyasi says if the players performed well, it could be a great opportunity for other Gambian female players.
I advise the clubs to give them 1 year loan with the option of signing a full permanent contract next year. So this will be a pilot project for Al Nauras here in Saudi here, because this is just the first time. Even in the city Jeddah here, we have about six teams that is playing in the first division. So none of them, only Al Nauras have players from Africa, especially Gambia.
The players and officials say they are feeling at home after their arrival. Mr. Nyasi says the Gambian councillor in Jeddah, Fabu Sane, visited them and encouraged them to do very well. The players are expected to sign season-long loan deals subject to extension.
I have high hope. They are very much ready for the task ahead. They know, because they're going to represent a lot of Gambians, and they will make more Gambians to come here if they perform. So I have high hope of them.
Women's football is in its infancy in the Gulf state. However, the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo and other global stars brought global attention to Saudi Arabia's domestic league. The women's game is already showing signs of making big-name signings. The fact that the kingdom is likely to host the 2034 World Cup as the sole bidder is likely to raise the game's profile in the country and globally, even higher for both the men and the women's game. Mumudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, before we end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. A group of 43 would-be migrants, all suspected to be Gambians, were intercepted in somewhere, Gunjur and Katong area on Thursday evening by the Gambia Immigration Department. Now, in a bid to tackle cross-border challenges, the government of the Gambia, in collaboration with the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance and other partners, Friday launched the Gambia Intercepted Border Management Concept and Implementation Plan. 40 participants on Friday concluded a validation on the findings of violations of domestic workers' rights in West Africa, organized by the Ministry of Trade and Partners. And in international news, Musa Dadis Camara, former jail leader of Guinea, has allegedly escaped after gunmen stormed the main prison in Guinea's capital on Saturday, according to the country's justice minister. And in sports news, 4 Gambian female footballers arrived in Saudi Arabia to sign loan deals with Jeddah-based Al Noors Football Club in the First Division. That's all we have for you in this edition of the Bulletin. Join us tomorrow for the weekend review with our special guest, Aissatou Keita. Many thanks indeed for the pleasure of your company, and do have a splendid evening. Bye-bye.